Hi, this is Cookin' Cookie. Welcome to our Thanksgiving episode. This is something that my son had made. I like to share it. I bring it out every year. Isn't it the most adorable thing? He made it when he was a small child. Oh, wait, he still is a small child. I forgot. Sorry. I don't know how I forgot that, but I did. But anyway, we're going to move this out of the way because we're going to have our little segment here and we got to have plenty of space, don't we? Okay. Oh, before I get started, I want to say thank you so much to everybody for all the cards and letters. Please keep them coming because then I know I'm loved and I need to feel loved. So please keep them coming. It just makes me feel like I'm the Erica Kane of food. You know Erica Kane of soap operas. Well, she is Erica Kane of men probably. I'm just of food. They both have variety, but guess what? I think in the end, she might have a little more fun in the beginning, but I think in the end, I win because food is the way to a man's heart, and that's going to always win in the end. You know. Okay, that was that. I know. Here we go. We're going to start cooking. We're going to make today for our first Thanksgiving episode, we're going to make a chorizo stuffing. Is it stuffing or is it chorizo dressing? Which is it? I think it's dressing when you put it in a casserole. And I think it's stuffing when you stuff it into that bird, right? I don't know. People call it different things. Maybe it depends where you live. I heard one time it's an East Coast, West Coast thing. I don't know, but I call it dressing ordinarily. I don't put it in my bird anyway. I like to put it in a casserole. I used to put it in the bird, but now I can do it in a casserole. All right, we better get started, shouldn't we? Okay, it all starts with this first. Cornbread. Jiffy cornbread. Okay, on there it's probably a little backwards. For some reason, our camera doesn't get things the right way. It kind of gets it backwards. It's a mirror image. But anyway, we start with a box of cornbread. I can't even think of what it is. Oh my goodness gracious gosh. Okay, it's a box of cornbread. You make your little cornbread in your square pan or round pan or whatever. And I like to add some herbs to it. You can add sage, rosemary, any flavors that you like to taste in your dressing. Just add it to the cornbread and it'll give it a little extra flavor right there. Alrighty. And I only use a box for the dressing. If I was to make cornbread for a dinner and have it with my dinner, you think I would use a box? Cookin' Cookie doesn't do that. She makes it from scratch. Okay, here we go now. Now, when we get that cornbread made, we're going to make it a couple days early at least so it can sit and you cube it up afterwards and you just let it sit and let it dry out a bit. If you want it drier, you can pop it in the oven. If you want to do it real fast, you can pop it in the oven after you cube it all up and dry it out that way. And then you have it in cubes, okay? We have our pan here of cornbread going in with the herbs. Then, okay, my grandmother used to do, I like cornbread. My grandmother made it with cornbread. I don't remember actually if she used the box stuff too, but I go about half and half. I use both because we have our little packet here, which I already have open, and we're going to add that to our cornbread. Okay. Yes, my grandmother, she made everything so good, and she made everything from scratch, and my grandmother did not do measurements. She just poured in, and usually when I do my dressing, I just pour in too, just like she did, but for the sake of you guys, I had to do measurements this time. Let me show you a picture of my grandma. This is my grandma right here on the right. She is with her brothers and sister-in-law. She was a wonderful lady. Look at that smile she has. She signified love in my life. Okay, I just wanted to share my granny with you. She loved to be called Granny. Okay, we have our two breads here mixed up. I shall continue on with the recipe. Oh, the chorizo part. Let me show you. Now, there's different kinds of chorizo. There's chorizo in the grocery store that you can buy in those packets that are already pre-packaged, to me, it's nothing but fat. When you cook it down, it's all watery and greasy. If you have a butcher that has chorizo that looks like this, look at that. It looks like ground beef. It looks just like ground beef, except it's probably pork. But anyway, it doesn't get the fat as much because it's from a butcher, and it tastes much better. All right, then, what I do, all right, I can't show you at the stove right now, but you saute the chorizo. I get a pound of chorizo, and I cook it. And then at the very end, I add the onions and the celery. About a cup of onions and about a cup of celery. Chop it all up, and I add that to the chorizo at the very end just to kind of saute it a little bit until they're soft. Then you have your chorizo, onions, and celery. Now I'm going to mix it all up in here. I already cooked it. Like I say, it's pre-cooked. You just put that right in. Oh, that chorizo's smelling good already. I love chorizo. And then we're going to put about a teaspoon of fresh herbs. You can put any combination of, let's say, sage, rosemary, whatever you like. And I like sage usually, but this time my grocery store didn't have any sage, and I have rosemary that grows fresh in my own garden, so I chopped up some rosemary. It'll taste fine with that. Okay, you add that. Then we're going to add some chicken broth. See, I got all the measurements right. Okay. We're going to add about approximately 1.5 cups to 2 cups of broth. But you know what? Just put a little bit in to start with. Give it a mix and see how that comes out, how that looks to you. Depends. Some people like it really moist. Some people don't like it as moist. So, you know, go by your own judgment. All right. We're going to put the rest of that in there. And give it a good old mix. Then you pour it into your casserole. And you cook it for an hour in your casserole. Okay, look at that. Look at that. Doesn't that look wonderful? Oh, it smells wonderful. And actually, you can taste it too and see how it tastes. You can decide what you want to add to it. Okay, we're going to add a little pepper. I like lots of pepper, but we'll add a little bit of pepper. And actually, you know what? I was going to put a little salt, but the chorizo gives it a little saltiness. So I don't think I'm going to add any salt, but it's up to you. It's up to your preference. Taste it and see if you like salt. But taste it before you add this last ingredient. A beaten egg. Add a beaten egg. That'll help kind of put it together. Then you can put it in your casserole. Stir that all up in there. Oh, this is going to be so good. Can you tell Cookin' Cookie likes her food? What can I say? I really love my food. And I love to cook. That's why they call me Cookin' Cookie. Well, actually, I've been asked if Cookie's my real name. And yes, it is. Cookie is my real name. My family called me Cookie all my life. My mother started calling me Cookie as soon as I was born. And that's all my family seems to know me as is Cookie. So I figured it was fitting to call myself Cookin' Cookie. So Cookin' Cookie it is. Alrighty, this is going to go in a casserole and bake for 45 minutes. But the last covered. You put a cover on it, put foil on it, or a lid if you have a lid to your casserole, depends. And then the last 15 minutes of the 45 minutes, that means 30 minutes later, you take the foil off or the lid off and let it kind of brown a little bit on top. Let's see. And by the magic of TV, this is a smaller casserole of it. And here it is, the finished product. When it starts to brown, ouch, it's a little hot still. It starts to brown on top there. Then then it's done. Okay, I'm going to sample it because I haven't even tried it yet myself. I can't wait to try it. That is really good. And Mmm. All right. That was delicious. Okay, I guess that's the end of our show for today. Let's see. Is that all of it? Oh my goodness. Time flies when you're having fun. But I want to say I am a traditionalist when it comes to dressing. I like basic celery and onions. And the normal herbs, and then except the chorizo. I like adding the chorizo. I've tried other sausages. Didn't care for them too much. I've tried other fruit. I tried dried fruit. Didn't like it. Too sweet for me. Don't care for it that sweet. So I'm traditional, except with the chorizo. I add that. It gives it nice extra flavor. And look at the color. Look how pretty it is. It gives it a nice, pretty color. And I'm going to give you a couple extra helpful hints just for being here today. What I'm going to say is, let me look at my list here so I don't forget anything. Oh, mashed potatoes. Add sour cream. The sour cream completes them. You just have to have it in there. If you want to put butter still, that's fine. That's up to you. Little milk, half and half, whatever you like to use. But put sour cream. It tastes so good. People like to put, sometimes they like to put cream cheese in it. I don't feel like having the extra fat. I feel like I'm going to get enough fat from everything else I'm going to have. So we try to cut back a little bit here and there once in a while. All right. The next thing would be, this is my grandmother's idea. She always cooked her turkey upside down the first half. And then after the first half, you turn it around, breast side down. And if you want still to get it to brown, you can still brown the top if you want. But it comes out so moist. It's foolproof. It will be delicious. It's always moist that way. And again, when you make your cornbread or your bread, whatever you like, you can add your herbs to it then. And when you're roasting it or whatever, if you roast your bread crumbs or cubes, you can add the herbs to that with a little bit of butter. Oh, and that was another thing. Because my chorizo is so lean, when I had to do the vegetables, I added about a tablespoon of butter to the chorizo to give it a little fat there to cook the onions and the celery in. And guess what? That's the end of our episode for today. I just want to wish everybody a happy and safe Thanksgiving. And I hope that you get to be with family. And I hope that you just have a good time. Don't forget to tell them that you love them. You only have one chance in life. So make it a happy chance. All right, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you again.